Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of our Last of Us Rewatch podcast. So we're going to be discussing episode 3. There will be spoilers for up to episode 3, right?
No, the whole series
Okay.
and the whole first game. Like, if I
Okay.
feel like I want to say someone dies in 3 episodes from now, I might.
Okay. All right. Just so everyone out there will know, if they haven't watched The Last of Us, you should probably go do that first because we are rewatching it. So episode 3, long time. What'd you think, Joe?
It's kind of, it's amazing. It's like this show. It's so good. Is this good? Are people entertained by me talking like a complete moron? Maybe we cut that out.
No, that's gold.
Okay. So I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was thinking about how I was shocked that this was the third episode because it's so good, and it takes the show from being this cool genre thing that was already knocking them out of the park, and now it's like, oh, they can actually like do important television with this, not just like. And of course, I knew that was potential for that sort of thing, but like not at this level. Like this is like instantly to like where I feel like Lost at its best was. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and for people who don't know, we're huge Lost fans. I won't spoil any Lost for you, but there are moments in Lost that really are heart wrenching and, insane. The fact that they were able to get to that level so fast with characters that we just met is insane. And like, so I'm really impressed that it was at its third episode, and it had me wondering, like, what did HBO send to the critics before the show even aired? Did they send them the first 3 episodes, the first 2 episodes, the first 4 episodes? Because if
Yeah.
this was in there, like, people would be like, hey, if you don't like the first episode, just hang in there. Just hang in
Keep on.
there because yeah, keep on going. What did you
Okay.
think?
So, and like rewatching it, um, what surprised me, I guess, is that how much Joel and Ellie are actually in the episode. Because in my memory,
Right.
it is all Bill and Frank. Like from start to finish. Well, not finish because I remember that part in the end. I did not remember that part in the beginning where
Right. And
they're dealing with
it's
pests.
substantial. Yeah. Yeah, like and even the pit. I took so many notes for this part, but the relationship between Joel and Ellie is starting to build. And even though he's still keeping her at arm's distance, he has become protective over her, both in duty and I think because he's a father and
Yeah.
she's a surrogate for Sarah in a way. But so what part of what he does is he says, "Oh, let's cut through the forest here," and she's like, "No, like let's just keep going. This
Yeah.
is the fastest way," in a very Ellie way. And what he was trying to do was protect her from seeing the pit people,
Yeah. The pit of
um,
skeletons.
the pit of skeletons. That transitions us from that moment to when the outbreak originally happened. Um,
Yeah.
uh,
But before
and
that, they go into a convenience store, I think, where Joel has stashed some
oh,
stuff.
right, there's the whole convenience store thing. Yeah. Um,
But going from the pit of skeletons in on the side of the road to the pit of skeletons that's probably in Mortal Kombat 2.
ha
Um, so like Ellie has this moment where she walks up to this video game. She's like, "Oh, it's so cool!" Like and like um she starts talking about the game and actually in the actual game in The Last of Us, it's not Mortal Kombat. It's
Okay.
like a made up game that is kind of like Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Um,
That makes sense.
but I think mostly because like it's not the same like studios
Right.
that did Mortal Kombat and Last of Us. But now in because it's HBO or
Yeah, they can
Max,
get away with it. Yeah.
yeah, WB, all the same thing.
What else do they do in the beginning? It starts with Joel stacking stones. Have you ever done that before? Like been at a river and stack stones?
No, not really. I've
Yeah.
like I kind of limit my time outside. Like I'm an indoors
Okay.
cat.
Fair. No problem. I took my family to Maine a couple of years ago, and we were at this one spot where everyone was stacking stones. Like dozens of people were just stacking stones. And when I was watching Joel do it, I was like, there were families having fun just piling up rocks. But there's a whole other significance to it that, you know, Joel was appreciating that these families weren't. And I mean, I was right there with him stacking stones, not thinking about anyone dead. So that's good. Um, let's see. They go to the Cumberland Farms. Obviously a Clerks reference. There's the Mortal Kombat game. She jumps in that hole. I couldn't believe it. Um,
How did
and
she
there's
get out?
okay. Ellie knows what she's doing. As soon as she goes down there, she turns over a garbage can so that she
Uh,
can step on it to climb out. But yeah, that would have been bad news. Um, and there's a ton of good exposition here as they're walking. They talk about the outbreak and uh, how Joel thinks it started, which is what
yeah,
the audience assumes is correct. And that so it, like you're right. It was a big chunk. It was at least 20 minutes, 25 minutes of Joel and
yeah.
Ellie. If they weren't there, would it have been a problem? Because the episode ends up being like 75 minutes long. Do we need Joel and Ellie in every episode? Or could they have just done like a bottle episode?
I mean, I think you like because I think you need to transition. Like you need to have Joel and Ellie in the beginning, just because like if you're watching Last of Us for the first time and the first two episodes are starring these two actors and like they're in all the promos and everything, and then you watch this episode and you're like, who is Bill? You know what I mean?
Bill who? Yeah, exactly.
Did
Yeah,
I
no,
miss an
totally.
episode?
Yeah, I wonder if there was an HBO meeting saying where someone was like more Joel, and it's did the perfect amount of Joel because he and Ellie both they book. We should say they spoilers for the end, but they bookend this episode, so we get to see them at the end as
Yeah,
well, and it's great. For the flashback, it flashes back to soldiers clearing out the houses of the outside communities. So like this is like a 5 hour walk from Boston. There's one point where the it zooms out and you can actually see Boston in the distance, right? Like or some city.
yeah.
Do you
I
remember that
assumed.
shot, or am I imagining things?
I mean, I assumed it was
Okay.
Boston.
Um, so so my plan to like that we talked about in previous episodes, where I was just going to drive west and
Hmm.
go someplace rural, it wouldn't have worked because they're collecting people for the quarantine zones, gathering them together, and either bringing them, or if there's no room, they're killing them. They're just killing people that aren't
Yeah.
infected. So I wouldn't have made it at all. It was a crushing flashback.
Well, I would
Uh,
not have walked like a day to get to Philly.
yeah.
I would like broken down in the middle of the road, sobbing, and I'm sure somebody would have thought I was infected and shot me.
there's uh, there's mushrooms coming out of his eyes. No, those are tears. Pop, 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 pop. We meet Bill, played by Nick Offerman. Um, he's in his bunker, so he's hiding from them. What can you tell us about Bill from the game?
Oh, so um, it's interesting because I would say like 90% of this episode is not in the game at all.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So like when you meet Bill, like you actually interact with Bill in the game, and you run through like his town, which is like it's not as nice as the town in the show.
No. It's really what he does is amazing, actually. But
Well, I mean that was
what
all
it
Frank.
yeah,
Frank
he's
was
got it.
nice.
He's like, can we spruce it up? I'm just gonna fix up the boutique.
Yeah, so like Bill, I want to say Bill is probably most like the first time you meet Bill in the show, like
Oh,
the way
okay.
you interact with him, like he's most like that. Um, because
We should
spoilers
say
for the
he's
game.
surly and untrusting and sort of like um, he's not he's a capable man that you don't want to come across, basically.
Yeah, so spoilers for the game. Um, Frank is not around.
Okay. Is there reference to Frank?
There are references to Frank. Um, like, and I think when this first episode first came out, there was some backlash about their relationship, Frank and Bill,
Right.
um, because it is a gay relationship. But like because you don't see Frank in the game, you only get references to Frank, and like um, if I remember correctly, Bill is kind of upset at Frank all
Okay.
throughout that whole section.
Do
Um,
you think Frank is still alive at this point, or
no, I think he is dead at that point.
okay?
But yeah, so like Frank is no longer not in the picture. There are references to their relationship, though. It's not explicitly mentioned that they are an item. or together. But there are references to like things that you read and things like that. So it is from the source material. It's just not as explicit as it is in the or present in the show.
Right. I saw something like they had an after the show segment where the makers of the show talked about making the show. And one of the things they said was that they knew early on that like if it was as good or worse than the game, then they would go with the game story. But if they had a better idea, then they would take it. But it would have to be better. It would have to be like something worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I mean, episode 3 they do it, which is a little nuts, but um, what they came up with is really exceptional.
Yeah, and I think like what actually happens in the game, like I don't know, it wouldn't have been as good like in
Sure.
television because it is just like them like trying to navigate through Bill's town and like setting off traps and like fighting off
Yeah.
infected and things like that. And so it's like from a gameplay perspective, it is more engaging because you're actually doing stuff as opposed to like watching something.
Well,
So yeah,
go ahead. Okay.
no, I
Well,
was done.
for me, that's very interesting. That makes me want to go watch a walkthrough because as great as all the characters are in the show, my favorite character was the fence. So, the fence is, I mean, okay. There's a fence going around the whole town. At one point, it saves the day.
Yeah,
Like, and Joel even makes fun of it at one point and said it won't last a year. But whatever, the fence is amazing. So I'm here for the fence, and I want more fence content. Obviously not the best character of the episode because you have Nick Offerman's character who secludes himself. He like as soon as he's alone, he goes to Home Depot and he loads up like it's a shopping
yeah,
montage. That was amazing. And the power goes out. He goes to the power plants and he turns it back on, or he just turns the gas on, right? Like
yeah. I don't remember
I
specifically,
think he
but
turns the
yeah,
gas on and then he goes and he gets a generator. But he's this montage, this like 5 minute montage of him just like getting stuff done is a survival guide. Like it's
he's
what you want.
preparing for this his entire life.
Right. Yeah. He's this is his Super Bowl. Like he's ready for it. And part of that is the fence. Anyway, I'm just saying. So like you said, there were a bunch of traps, and in one of his traps, there's just a big hole. He catches somebody, um,
Yeah.
and it ends up being Frank. Like, why don't you tell us about Frank?
So Frank is I guess he's a wanderer at this point.
He says he was coming from Baltimore,
Yeah,
right? And there was a group of 10,
group of 10, yeah.
right?
But like,
And that he's the only one left. And if he was in The Walking Dead, he would definitely be a liar. Like anyone that watched The
that
Walking
kind
Dead
of
was
shit.
all like, "This guy, don't trust him. Just leave him in the hole."
And it's interesting that the trap is like, because I feel like it was probably for the infected. Like, if an infected got through, like they'd fall down the hole, they'll just shoot him.
Sure.
But he's called a live person who's not been
Yeah.
infected. So Frank's not in the best situation, and he would like some help, some food.
Yeah.
Um,
He says it's been 2 days since he has eaten, and Bill's first reaction is to not let him in. He says something to the effect of, if I give you food, then you'll tell all your hobo friends and they'll
yeah.
come back and they'll want a free lunch. And oh wait, he says, I wrote this down. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Uh, there's not an
This is
this
not
is
an
not an
Arby's.
Arby's. There's no free lunch.
You don't have free lunch
I,
at Arby's either.
right, which is what Frank says back to him. Would you let somebody in? Like, are you the type of person that would be open like
I guess it would depend on who it is. If it was Frank, um, maybe.
okay.
I don't know. Like I feel like if I were Bill and I had spent my entire life prepping for this particular moment and like uh some random person just like showed up on my doorstep, I don't know that I would. Would you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is why I would have died way earlier, is because in my head I would have been like, it's the right thing to do to help these people. And so begrudgingly I would let people in, but I would do so like, fine, come on in. Like,
Oh,
I know you're gonna kill me.
you know what I would do though? I'd probably throw a sandwich down the hole.
Eat up and then get out of
Yeah, basically.
here.
It's a nice middle ground, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Take your baloney walking, maybe.
Take free
Uh,
Arby's. Get out of here.
yeah. Anyway, free Arby's though. That's not bad. That's not bad. I would,
Yeah.
I would, I would fall in a hole for free Arby's. So he does let him in, and Frank is in love with the situation there. Like he gets a hot shower, he gets a unbelievable meal, and
It's wine.
it's wine that's paired perfectly. Um, and Bill has a nice home. It's safe and um, comfortable, and
So here's a question I like popped up while like they were going through the house is um was the house Bill's mom's?
right, like who like Bill's here alone? Like it's very strange because it's a large colonial, I think, family home, and Frank is going through like the sheet music at one point, and he's like, "This isn't yours."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So but Bill didn't have a wife or a family or anything like. There's no one else there with him. So yeah, did is this his family home where he grew up, and his parents are just now gone? And I have follow up questions like, what did Bill do? Like what was his job? I'm sure there are clues there and stuff, but I just missed. But there's a point in the show where they get you thinking like about these two people and what they were like before and how they may not have come together if there weren't mushroom zombies.
For sure, they would never
For
have
sure.
met.
Yeah, it's a real odd couple. It's a real opposites attract,
Yeah.
situation. But it's beautiful. That whole Linda Ronstadt song is amazing. It's such a sweet meet cute. Oh God, is
Yeah.
that a meet cute? Uh,
I mean, I
and
think
then
technically the cute was in the hole, but
how'd you guys meet? I fell in a hole. I had to explain Arby's to him. But then the time jumps happen. So at first it's a 3-year jump. And that's when Frank wants to spruce up the town. He's like, let me get
yeah.
some paint. Let me get some, I forget what else he asked for. Oh, gas for the lawnmower. And that makes sense. Like, you want to take care of your spot. And later on, you can see there's a point where Frank gets sick and starts to die. And you can see the house is like, even their house is deteriorating. Like the
Yeah.
outside's kind of a mess and stuff. Um, but that's another time jump.
Like there's something that comes at the end when we meet Joel and Ellie again that like there was like a little moment I was like, oh, that's nice because like, and we'll get to it when we get there.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're terrible at this. We're jumping all over the place. But we almost jumped past the most important part of the episode. Tess is back. We thought
I
she
was gonna
was
say the
gone, but
return
she's
of Tess.
back. The return of Tess.
I I had honestly forgotten. Like I knew the episode was structured in a way that was like there are time jumps and like you see like points of like Frank and Bill's relationship and like I think I remember like knowing that like they like Joel was in the middle of the episode, but I completely forgot that Tess was in this episode.
Right. Yeah, totally. And it's
It was a
such a
nice
great
surprise.
surprise. Yeah, she's back just for 3 minutes, but it's great the way that Frank is wants to make friends. He doesn't want them to be just two old guys that never see anybody,
Yeah,
um, which is amazing. Which is what you want. Uh, and it's funny to watch Nick Offerman's Bill and Pedro Pascal's Joel sort of being so similar
yeah, same
but
energy.
still, yeah, same energy. But like, even at the end, again, I'm jumping around, but like, there's a letter that Bill writes, and he's like, "Don't like you, or we're not friends, or whatever." But I respect you. There was a real respect there, and to watch the birth of that friendship, quote unquote, was really, really fantastic.
Yeah, like
Tess is
yeah, I liked how like Frank and Tess were like similar, and then like Bill and Joel are similar.
yeah,
But like Frank and Tess get along famously. They
yeah,
like each other. They're just talking about stuff. Um, whereas like Bill and Joel are so similar that like they're similar in a way that makes it not conducive for them to be friendly to each other.
sure, yeah. But they'll end up being people that are connected for a long time. They trade with each other. They're the ones that are communicating with each other with the radio. Um,
Yeah.
but I guess Tess was chatting with Frank um, in some way. I will say that when you said that they get along famously, like this is almost a side of Tess that we don't ever see
Oh.
in the huge amount of time we spend with her.
You don't even see it in the game, really, because you really only spend the amount of time that is in the first two episodes with Tess in the
Right.
game. So like you don't see their interaction at all with Frank. Well, Frank's not in the game, so
It made me think like, and what do you think of this? Was she playing them? Did she have a long con that she was going to work on them? Again, we have 3 minutes of scenes to as evidence, but like what do we know about Tess? We don't know anything, right?
well, I mean, I would think that it's. I don't know necessarily think it was a long con, but like it was more like a mutually beneficial relationship where like they needed stuff, like and like Frank and Bill could provide it. So like
Yep.
um it's it's beneficial for them to keep up that relationship.
Guns for seeds, though, man. They got they traded a
Small
gun
gun
for
though,
strawberry seeds.
small.
It's a small gun, don't worry. And there's a great line here. Bill says, "I was never afraid before you showed up." Which I think said, obviously it says so much about those two characters and everything, and that the perfect lead into the Raiders scene where Frank wakes up in the middle of the night. There's a commotion outside, and he goes outside. And Bill is fighting people
Yeah, he's
trying to
fighting off
attack my
raiders.
beloved fence. They're trying to take the fence down, and Bill's like, he says something like, "You get back inside. I can hold them off, and the fence will finish them off." Like he actually says something like that.
So like, I think it's when after Bill's been shot and like Frank takes him inside, and he's saying like keep the gas on, um, and I think does say the fence will finish him off. So like one of the things about the fence, so like there's one shot where like one of the raiders is getting like flamethrowered,
Yeah,
and
it's
he's like,
on
"Well,
fire.
Paul."
It's great. The fence is really doing a lot of work, and really, these raiders are not happy raiders. And we don't even see the end of that fight, but it doesn't work because then the flash is to 10 years later. Um,
Yeah,
Bill, who we thought might die, has survived, and they're both old now, like almost too old. Like, are they older than Joel? Because
they they are older than Joel, I think.
okay, because they seem to go from like 45 to 75. Like it's a hard decade for them. It's
It's a lot of
like
housework, man. Housework makes you old.
it's like James McAvoy, Professor X, to Patrick Stewart, Professor X. Like Patrick Stewart looks great, but that's a hard 10 years. Fence did his job. What else we got here? And then there's the oh wait. Sorry. They talk about how Frank is ready to give in. He's ready.
Yeah.
He's got cancer. He's not, or they never name it,
They
but
never name the disease, but it is something that was uncurable even before the world turned to shit, basically.
right, because Bill isn't ready to let Frank go, but Frank says, what are we waiting for? Like he wants to die on his own terms, which is great, which is
Yeah.
terrific. It's very sweet. Bill's decision to join him also super sweet. Um, and I mean there's not much that I can say about it. It's really beautiful. Like it's really a wonderful arc.
Yeah, and like um I think the fact that like Bill has a moment where like he he's grieving for Frank, even though like
Yeah,
it's still he's not dead yet, but like he knows Frank wants to die, and like he accepts it relatively quickly, um, which I think just speaks to like kind of their understanding of each other. Like
sure.
he's not trying to plead with him, saying well I mean I guess he does say like what if a doctor shows up?
Yeah. Yeah, what if a doctor
You
shows
know
up?
what happened if the doctor showed up though?
He
The
would steal all
fence.
the guns. The fence would kill him. He's like, I found the cure for cancer. And the fence is like, cha cha cha. Flame, electricity. Oh man, fence. R.I.P. Doctor. The fence had you. Then we flash forward and we see Joel and Ellie approaching the town. Joel knows the code. He gets right through the fence because he and the fence have an understanding.
They're friends now.
um, and I mean, they're there obviously to find help from Bill.
Yeah.
Were they like, what are they looking for specifically at this point?
So they're
Like,
looking for a car and a car and a car battery. Well, just a car, I guess, a working car is
right,
what they're looking for.
which they do.
Um,
They get all the guns. They find a note that says, "Take whatever you need,"
yeah,
and it's
but
written. Go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
I was gonna say, but before that, like as they're walking up through the house or up to the house, Joel looks at like this pot of flowers that like
Oh,
is clearly not been watered and they're like kind of dying. So that's his first clue that like something is not right here.
that's great. I love Detective Joel. I love when he's one step ahead of us. He's like, I spotted that. I spotted that. He's like Jason Bourne of the, like he knows everything that's going on. He's always watching.
Yeah. So I like the little detail that Bill writes in the note. Um, we left the windows open so the house wouldn't smell.
Yeah, that's great. And of course, even after they gather up all their stuff and they drive away, they get a truck, which is great because Utah's a far way away. The episode ends on that window, and the camera
Yeah.
pulls in from the outside to the inside, and you wait for them to show these dead bodies, but they don't, which is good. Then the Linda Ronstadt song plays, and that's good too.
So the significance of the window, though, I believe when you were starting up the game, like it starts on a window, I believe. Like
Oh,
there,
is that right?
yeah.
So it starts on Sarah or Joel's window,
Well,
and
yeah, wherever you are in the game, I think it starts on a window.
really, wait, wherever you are in the game,
Wherever you are,
it's
like if you stop playing the game and you come back to it and like before you like when you load up the game, press start. Like before the press start screen is a window.
this is huge. I need to keep an eye out for these windows because there must be a dozen in the.
I mean, I don't know. I honestly didn't notice them that often.
All right.
Um,
Well, be aware, and I'm officially on window watch. If I see a window, game on, whatever that means. Speaking of game on, and your answer might be the window, but what was the most video game moment in this episode?
it's hard because like there are like so much of that episode is not in the game.
Right.
Um, I do think though that the most video game or the most Last of Us, Joel and Ellie getting their kind of signature looks at the
Oh,
end.
is it? Oh, okay, okay, okay. So like even in the game, like there's you suit up, like you get.
I mean, they actually start out with those outfits, I
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
But like they like in the beginning of the show, like they're not in those outfits. But like
Amazing.
yeah, Ellie's got this maroon shirt with like I think it's like a horizon with like something like it's a
Okay.
scene.
That she pulls out of a box that Bill has
Yeah.
marked women's shirts, small and medium, because Bill is ready for anything.
Who was he getting those for? Like did he?
Exactly. Yeah, but he was ready. He knew somebody, and like, how did she find them? Like, I don't know. I guess maybe if he's got a box and it's marked, then it's in the clothes section of his his
Yeah.
bunker. So yeah, Bill's ready. Gotta appreciate that for a guy that didn't want to know anybody, that put up literal walls to keep people out. He was ready to be a good person and help people.
Or
Like,
do we think that's a Frank thing?
oh, geez, you're right. He's like, go get me a shirt and go get some, in case anybody else comes by. Go get just a box. Where's the small, medium?
Let's go to the local Walmart. Just clear it out. See what's nice.
Yeah,
Put it in a box.
you never know.
Maybe someone will use it someday.
Okay. My next question for you. In this episode, how would you like to die? This episode brings you these three deaths that I've chosen. You are a convenience store clerk that's trapped under cinder blocks in the basement, and then you get bit by a spore monster, and then you become a spore monster, and you remain there until a little girl stabs you in the eye. That's number one. In the eye? No, in the head.
Yeah.
That whole moment was strange. She's like I wrote down, oh, they bleed. They still bleed. Like, but yeah, she's really like having a moment with that guy. That's number one. Number two, dumped into a pit. Tragic, terrible. Really, when they show that dress and it flashes back to a young woman wearing the same dress holding a child, it's like
Holding a baby, yeah.
So those two, or I'm gonna throw you a curveball here. Wrath of the Fence. I could have very easily gone with you know,
Like
your true
one bottle
love.
full
Yeah.
of
Yes. The sleeping pills, enough to kill a horse. Um, Sleeping pills with the one you love, but no, too easy. Wrath of the Fence, because the fence will toy with you. The fence will play games.
because like if in my mind, like if I pick fence, I am the guy twirling in front of the flamethrower.
100%. Yeah, yeah. You're one of the raiders. Hit Vance were trapped in a convenience store basement for eternity. For he was probably down there for
He's down there for a
20
while.
years. Yeah.
Hmm. I guess I'm gonna have to go with the pit.
Yeah, I feel like it's the right answer too. It's the most it's the like in the first episode where the one we chose where they lie to us, tell us
Yeah,
everything is going to be okay, and
yeah,
then surprise, you dead. And then
yeah,
it's over.
yeah.
Yeah.
In an instant.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
if you are the first guy in the convenience store, like did he get infected before the thing collapsed on him,
Yeah.
or was that after? So like
I
you're
want to say
not
he was trapped down
dead.
there for a week as a human.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and then a spore monster just came up to him and turned him and he's like, "Oh no, not like this." Well, that's all we have. That's all I have for this episode. Other than to say, I'll say before you have your final thoughts on it. Really, like not just like maybe the best episode of this series uh, so far in the whole first season, but like one of the best episodes of TV in the past 10 years on TV. Like it's really up there. It's really nicely done and beautiful, and I love it. I was so glad to revisit it.
Yeah, and like it's so different from the game, but um all the changes that they made, I think were for the better. And we'll see in the rest of the series, like you'll see like kind of like various couples together,
Okay.
um, and like that's kind of like a theme that like works its way um through the show and through the game as well. I will say I do miss some of the stuff from the game that they would not be able to put
Oh,
um
really? In this part of the game?
in this part of the game. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So one of my favorite things. So after you've left Bill's town, um, so Ellie and Joel are in a car, and like Ellie has stolen one of Bill's like porno mags.
Oh no, that's in the next episode.
Is it?
There's a porno mag reference.
Okay.
Maybe not in the next one. Maybe.
It would have to be in the next one.
Okay.
So
I think
maybe
it is.
I'll hold off then.
Save it for next episode because
Save it for the next episode.
as soon as you said porno mag, I was like, I know porno mag. Yeah, no, it rang a bell. Uh, Now I hope it's in the next episode. Otherwise, because if not, then what?
Yeah, we'll get to it in the next episode. Other
We
than
will.
that, I mean, um, yeah, like it was really surprising the first time around, like seeing like how different it was.
Yeah.
But again, like all really great.
Yeah.
But before we go, we did not mention um, why we started recording this in the first place, which were the donuts.
The donuts. That's the only reason I'm here, really.
Yeah,
The show is just a bonus. This is the take the what is it called? Take the donut
the donut.
challenge.
Take the
Yeah, I'm
donut.
gonna eat the donut.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
gonna take a bite. Thanks for listening and watching and whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Join us for the next episode where we're going to talk about porno mags in episode 4.
Porno mags and more donuts.
More donuts. Yep.